I am about to get into Helium 5G, and I'm totally a beginner. This is going to be a lot of fun. What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, over the last 14 to 15 months, I've had a complete blast getting into Helium and had some great success. So when the team over at HeliumDeploy.io approached me about their Moken Helium 5G Marketplace and asked me to test it out, I thought, why the hell not? I never really had the chance to get into Helium back during the original OG days when it launched. And we're not talking that long ago. It was only a few years ago. But I was never really into Helium at that point. I really was just dabbling into crypto mining with my GPU mining rigs at that time. So I never really was able to really fill my bags with HNT super early on before Helium actually took off. And the benefit of getting in so early was the thing that you could go ahead and fill your bags very early on and then cash out, and it was very fruitful and profitable. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at HeliumDeploy.io, and then we're also going to take a look at their Helium 5G Moken Marketplace. But I want to be transparent. They've reached out to me and asked me to test this out, and it's entirely free to me, and I thought, sure, I'll test it out and see what it's like. And then if it's actually worth it, and there actually is some substance behind this and some profitability for us miners, then we'll go ahead and recommend it. All right, so we're over on Helium Deploy, and Helium Deploy is not only a marketplace with Moken, but they also sell the Helium 5G equipment. So let's take a look at this first, and then we'll take a look at what I'm most excited about, which is the Moken Marketplace. And I think that's really what's going to interest you guys the most. So for me, Helium 5G was always like, there was always this barrier to entry, which came with this hefty price point, and it always steered me away from it. I mean, you guys can see here, these are no joke. I mean, this bundle here comes with the Freedomfi gateway, which is like your hotspot, that 5G hotspot. But then in addition to that, you have 3 with this unit in this bundle, these outdoor CBRSs. I guess they're like cells is what they are, or they're antennas. But then they have additional other bundles here. Here's one with 2. And then down below here, you actually have a few different units that are available to you. So there's definitely a price point and tag with it. And after I started to learn a little bit more about this, I'm like, I'm kind of interested in now complete like Helium Deploy kind of partnering with me for this and approaching me about this and providing me the sell. We'll go over that in a minute. I'm still kind of interested because I've had really good success with Helium. Now, a lot of that has relied on different witnesses and beacons in the area and stuff like that. And Helium 5G really is, I'm trying to think in layman's terms, is like a cell tower that you're providing. And so I'm like, there's some opportunity here. And if I can put one in my attic like I did with my Helium miner and have even a little bit of the success based off of what we're going to look at what, like how well you can do with these Helium mobile tokens, I may make that investment. Okay, so let's look at now Moken.io. And this is a marketplace for pre-installed 5G Helium miners. So you saw those miners, the little things with the antennas, right? But you actually can then go ahead and there's these cells that you can purchase. I don't know if the proper terminology is rent. I guess it's rent or lease maybe. Leave a comment down below, please correct me. But this is really cool, and this is the part of Helium where I'm like, dang, can I get in early enough? And this is not me putting on my salesman hat. This is honestly me being generally excited. So on this marketplace here, you have all these cells that you can invest into. But I don't even want to call it investment or staking. You're renting, leasing, buying sounds like the proper term here. So on this site right now, there's 40 Helium 5G radios set up and available for your purchase. You can see here that right now the Helium mobile token is worth 0.0007. And when I see a price of any cryptocurrency like that, I always think of what DJ Mine says and what he lives by. And it's like, okay, if you can get in on a cryptocurrency token early and it moves 1 decimal point, how impactful is that when it comes down to how much money you've made? Because these are those little projects that you can build your bags in significantly, and then even if they have one takeoff, it still is super lucrative. So that's where my the gears start turning in my head. Well, let's take a look at some of these, and we'll actually, let's take a look at the one that Helium Deploy set up for me in order to do this video and test it out, because I think that's the cooler part. So the site isn't super elaborate, so it's really simple and easy to follow along with. So you can see here, this is my cell is what they're calling it. So maybe I used the wrong terminology, antenna, radio, whatever. This is my cell, and we'll kind of take a closer look. So there's my cell ID. And in addition to that, you can see my payments over the last few days. So like my first day was 11,644 of this Helium Mobile token. And at the end of the day, we're miners. We want to know about profitability, right? So let's load up a calculator real quick and do 0.0007 times 11,644. So that made $8.15 in one day, which is awesome. And that was just one day. It's only been set up for like, what? The 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and today's the 11th. So 6 days. So I'm like, all right, cool. So 57,000. So let's take a step back there. And I know we're jumping the gun. We're looking at profitability early, but whatever. 57,420. So we've made $40 off of this in 6 days. I'm not complaining. Pretty sweet. Now that's the total there. Now it says I get the shares of 75%. So it looks like my rewards end up being this 43,000. So let's take that there. So let's do the 0.0007 times 43,065. And we'll talk about the shares in a second. I'll show you guys that. So we made $30.15. That's still really good. So let's take a look at my cell. What was purchased for me for today's video. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. So deployment at the top. Own and installed and fully supported Baicell miner. Those are those like big boxy things that we saw on Helium Deploy. We have selected the best locations, hosts, and hardware to get your mining enterprise online today. Our team of professionals will support your device 24/7, ensuring you are maximizing your mining potential. I want to put a disclaimer there also and say, also profit, right? So we can see my hotspot type is the Freedomfi. That's those units we were looking at. My radio is the 1935. It shows a coverage area. We can click into it. I'll show it to you in a minute. Here is that unit, and this is the one I'm actually might be interested in buying. We'll see. The cell type is the Baicell 𝐬𝐬 430H. And then my location's actually in Florida, hanging out with Hawk Crypto Mining down there, and GPU Risers Mike. So it's down below. Looks like Miramar, Florida. Sounds like it. Miramar sounds like from PUBG is what that looks like on that map there. So let's take a little bit closer look at this. Okay, so at the top they have this agreement here. Let's take a closer look at that. The agreement here. Agreement ID. It's got a number with it. And then type is ownership. Commissioned November 21st, 2022. The price was $2,500. And then it kind of shows you like where you are, like the break even and everything like that. So that's kind of helpful. I kind of want some more details in there, but I might click on one of these that I don't own to get more details after we look at this closer. Maybe I did all of this in reverse. That's okay. Having some fun. So we're going to click in here and we're going to view on Helium Explorer. We're going to click that. And normally I wouldn't be comfortable doing this because it shows my location, but it's just showing this Helium 5G miner that's out there. And so it's not mine, I guess, is how that works. So it looks like here it is now. Wow, look at this coverage. Holy cow. So let's go down. Here's our radio, 1935 over here on the left-hand side. And it is saying here, in one day, it earned 11.399K is what that earned total. So if we did like 30 day, it's earned in 30 days. This alone has earned 352,901. So if we calculated that, now my curiosity is like, ooh. Okay, so in 30 days, it's earned about $250. That makes like buying one of these at like $2,500, like pretty, I mean, look at that, 2,500 divided by 250. That's like a break even of 10 months. which is actually pretty impressive. Makes me want to possibly get one of these. So what more can we learn here? So let's go back. View on coverage explorer. As I said, I'm still learning, guys, 100%. Okay, so here is my radio. The 1,935. And then this must be the area. It looks like it covers a very small area. Like, look how small, like when you zoom out here. Yeah. Pembroke Pines. I don't know if you guys are from Florida, know what this is. It's like southwest of Fort Lauderdale. And then Miami's down here, down south. But it's just this like one little cell here. And I really don't know all the details. But I guess if like, I wonder if this is utilized by T-Mobile customers or if it has to be Helium Mobile. And then if you have Helium Mobile, it utilizes the 5G hotspots and also the T-Mobile hotspots. But it's like, where my wheels go is like, can we get in on this early? And like, are these going to spread crazy like they did with the Helium miners? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, for the price tag on some of that hardware, and we looked at the hardware on Helium Deploy, it was like $2,500 or more. That barrier to entry is a huge difference between like $400 that like the MNTD Helium miners were. So let's go back to their marketplace, because I think we kind of did this a little backwards, and let's look at like some of these units readily available right now to see how this works with like your earnings. So my earnings was 75% is what it said. So let's scroll through here. It looks like you can filter by coverage points and then by states. So California, Florida, and New Jersey. Okay, so that makes sense. So they're only in those areas. So it looks like you can do share. Let's see. Okay, so my guess is, and we'll take a look, that the higher percentage of earnings or the shares that you own, the more expensive. So let's take a look at one here. Let's look at this one here. It says 75%. So let's click on this one and learn more. So this one here, this is Radio 2090. It's in Florida as well. Okay, this gives us more detail than what we saw on mine. I'll zoom in here so you guys can take a look. So it has the agreement. It's for 75% of the daily earnings. It looks like 75% is the most. So I guess like if I was to buy one of these units and set one up in my attic, I would get 25% of the earnings. If I guess like leased or rented it out. This is kind of like your own like Airbnb a little bit. And like, this is cool. Like I'm really interested in this. So look, installed, configured, tuned, and earning on the Helium 5G network, 24/7, 365 hardware and software support with auto renewal at $40 per month. Cancellation on a 30-day notice period. So I did find out about this a little bit, that you don't pay $40 a month is my total understanding. Like your total price is the $2,500. That was one thing that was kind of wonky to me. Hosting on here and provisions of internet connection, managed of wallet and contractual payments on the Helium 5G blockchain, earnings sent to you and the host on a weekly basis. Okay, so I did set up my Helium address, my Helium mobile address, which it's kind of like the same address is my understanding, earlier. So I should start to see these hit my Helium wallet. So I'll be really eager to see that here. And then you can hit view deployment. Yeah, I don't know totally what the $40 a month is. I was watching another video. I was trying to learn a little bit more, and one of the gentlemen had looked into this deeper. Because one of the things some questions I have is like, how long is this good for that 2,500? Is it lifetime? And like, what happens with this and all? Like, the agreement details aren't super detailed here. I coming from like the mining space, I almost need to see more. Like, what's the start date? What's the end date? You know, you're going into an agreement here and you're spending $2,500 of someone's well-earned money. I kind of need those details. And even if it's assumed like, no, you own it. It's like, okay, great. But like, that person that's hosting this drops off the planet. What happens? or, you know, or are these all hosted by Helium Deploy? I don't know. Based off the information, I don't really know. Other things that come to mind is like, what is this $40 per month? I mean, it talks about with auto renewal at $40 per month. So I don't know. It's like, do you put in the 2,500 and then how long does that 2,500 go for? Pay for 500. Or it looks like you could do payments too. Pay now for $500, 5 monthly. Like, so there's definitely some room for interpretation. I understand this is alpha. So, okay, cool. I get it. And I'm super interested in it, but I'm super cautious. And I imagine you guys are as well. Like, I imagine you guys are watching right now, screaming at the screen, like just a little concerned. I totally get it, 100%. So here's what we're going to do from this video here. We're going to circle back to this because I'd like for you guys to take a look at it if you're interested. And this is kind of the avenue you like to go down, going down these spec mining avenues and early investments and with the potential to blow up at some point. That's where my head goes, especially right now during the bear market. I'm not seeing avenues to like cash out your Helium Mobile. I'm not seeing like avenues to move it to BTC. It seems like this is super, super young and early. Keep that in mind. Be very careful. I'm trying to say that as much as I can with this, but I'm going to keep an eye on this. I want to see how well it does. And I'm also going to keep an eye out on this hardware. That's it, guys. That's going to wrap up today's video. We're stepping into that Helium 5G space. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, a little cautious, but I'm excited. Like, if this has true legs, I mean, the fact that it has legitimacy behind with T-Mobile makes me a little bit more comfortable, but we'll see what happens. So Helium 5G, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Were you totally burned by Helium and you can't step into this space again? I totally understand. Are you curious and interested? Leave comments, leave questions, and hey, if we have some advanced Helium miners in here, please leave comments down below. Educate me, educate the community. I would appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.